All right, here we go. Hello.
Hi.
I know you got a weird light in your face. Let's see if I can move it over that way so that you can look at me and we can talk. All right, great. How's your American Geophysical Union annual fall meeting 2018 going so far?
Going great. I'm a first-time attendee, so excited to be in a place that has almost as many people that live in Juneau all in one place.
That's very true, and some just here in the poster hall.
Right.
Not to mention the other exhibit halls and the session halls and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But you're here as a presenter, and you were talking about some of your research.
Exactly.
And you got a poster session. What does that mean? What is a poster session?
It basically means you put up all your information on a piece of paper in a way that's hopefully understandable to a broader audience, and people come around and talk to you and try to learn more about your work and why it's interesting.
You spend a lot of time in the lab. What's it like to spend so much time in front of other people?
Well, thankfully, as a social scientist and a physical scientist, I get to talk to people a lot. So this is something that's not too unfamiliar, but it's still intimidating to talk about your work outside of the Alaskan and Arctic contexts too. So,
What is your work? You're studying the sea ice and search and rescue in the Arctic, as it says here in the
Yes.
tweet. The Arctic can be a tough place to save people because you need help pretty quick if you need help at all.
yeah, it's definitely a challenging environment to say the least.
So what are you looking at?
For this specific case, I'm looking at a search and rescue incident that happened last summer, July 2017. And basically what happened was a boat went adrift. They lost fuel and power, essentially, and couldn't get back to shore. There's a lot of people on board. There's also a seal on board.
A seal?
Yeah, they were out hunting.
Oh, okay. So it was a seal that they had harvested, not a
Yes.
live seal that they
No.
were taking home for a
Yes.
zoo or anything.
No, not
But
at all.
that they need to get that preserved as quickly as possible because that means food
Yep,
for the
there's
community.
food, lives.
What happened to the boat? Did it just hit some sea ice? Did it? Was
No,
there
it ran out of fuel.
ran out of fuel? I think you said that. We just got to calm down. And listen. So did they call for help?
Well, unfortunately, there are some issues with communication, so that's kind of what this whole work was looking into, how we could basically help people that we couldn't communicate with. And essentially, there's the great resources that we have in the North Slope, the Borough Search and Rescue Team, the Volunteer Search and Rescue Team, and obviously the U.S. Coast Guard as well. But more importantly, with all these different moving pieces and all this kind of information at the ready needs, could we potentially rely on scientific information to help support that? So we had a unique opportunity where scientists were kind of asked to say, could you use your various modeling and observational data to see if we could predict the drift of this boat?
So it's no fuel, drifting in the ocean. They want to rescue it. Time is running out. So who do they turn to? Scientists.
Well, that would be a very cool movie plot line, but wasn't quite as obviously climactic as that.
Okay.
This was one of many resources that were being used for sure.
Oh, okay. So if it was a TV movie, it would be you sweeping in. That's great, though, that they recognize that was a resource that they could add to all the other stuff that they were
Exactly.
doing. And how is it going to influence search and rescue in the future?
Oh, it kind of opens up an avenue potentially. Like, is there other information out there that we could use? And I think it's still something that's not obviously definitive, yes or no, but it does give us an idea of, well, maybe our information isn't purely for the lab or for research. Maybe we could actually put it in an applied fashion. And that's what we're hoping to look into more.
I think that's the neighborhood that you're in. You're in the Science Nexus.
Oh, really?
Neighborhood.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't even realize. Perfect.
AGU splits up the science into 4 neighborhoods, and they group it in. There's
That's
space.
what the
there's,
yellow means.
Yes. There's the beyond the Earth. There's the Earth covering. There's inside the Earth, and then the science nexus, where it all sort of comes together to putting that research together to help people. That's exactly what you're figuring out.
Trying to, at least.
Was it the scientists that found the crew?
No, actually.
Ah, okay.
It was a very interesting story, but I'm kind of trying to find them, and obviously, luckily, it was kind of during the summer where there is more daylight. But a refuel vessel was kind of cutting through the search grid to get to the search boats, and they kind of beelined across and ran into them, and that's how they were.
And they were saved in that way. So you talked the last little question, and I'll let you get back over there because I know there's people probably waiting to talk to you over there.
Whole lines of people.
Yes,
No,
I'm sure.
joking.
Is what sort of modeling were you looking? Drift modeling of sea ice, how sea ice moves, and how the boat might move in a similar fashion?
Ocean.
Oh,
And-
the ocean movement.
Yeah, ocean currents. And yeah, I also want to caveat that I was not involved in any of this. I was just researching what had happened, basically. So,
Oh, so they were doing the stuff, and then you saw this sort of story. And you're like, there's something
Right.
There's something interesting.
As part of our broader project, working up there, we had all these email communications and people to talk to, and we figured it would be a good way to deep dive into it and see, well, is there something we can learn out of this?
And you did.
Yeah, at least some, preliminary insights that can maybe inform others.
Science is always like that. Like we've learned just a little bit, and then that will help the next person do a little bit more research and a little bit more research, but they couldn't make that step without the work that you have done.
Well, thank you for that. We'll see how it goes, yeah.
Thanks for taking some time to talk to me. I like to shake hands here on camera, so people, hey, there we go. And thanks, it was very interesting. You had a little new setup here this time around, so thanks for bearing with me.
Thanks for being, improvising. This is the Alaskan way, right?
It sure is, it sure is. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm going to turn this off and let you get back to work.
Bye.